Hey guys and girls, this is SuperZombieGBBQ. Normally I would do quite an upbeat introduction and intro and be really punchy and energetic, but today I don't think it's the right time or place to be doing so. And the reason why is because we're not going to really be shining a very positive light on SuperCard today. I've wanted to make this video for probably a best part of about a week and a half, if not before that. But now is the right time to make it. And I'm going to talk about the state of WWE SuperCard, and honestly, why I think that there are some big changes that need to happen to this game, because right now there's a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Now, what I want to just get out there first of all is I'm not telling you now that I don't enjoy Season 4. I love Season 4. In my opinion, it's the best one for a game experience yet, but there are some big things they've changed which have made the game not enjoyable. And honestly, they've made some changes that have made it more of a grind, and they have made some changes that have made the game quite unsociable. And I'm not really surprised to tell you this, but I'm seeing less and less people are playing SuperCard as time goes on because of not only initial frustrations with the game, but also new things that are being added and decisions that are being made and bugs, glitches that are just really taking their toll. Now, 4 years in, you would expect a glitch or two in SuperCard. Like any mobile game, we could just go on for hours talking about games. Every game that comes out now has a glitch or two, especially a game like SuperCard that is constantly updated with new features and new cards and etc. But it does get to a point where you have to sit back and think, really? Like, really? Now, normally I wouldn't ask you for likes because I just say if you enjoy what you see, smash the like button and you hit it with an awesome super kick out of nowhere. But today I'm just going to ask you if you agree or disagree. I need your comments in the comment section. I want this to be a community discussion, something where everyone can talk about the problems that are in this game, the state of this game, and why things need to change. If you feel like it, hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on. Let's get right into the video though, because we've got a lot to discuss. In my opinion, this all started really becoming an issue around about the time they introduced the Winter Fusion Chamber. And I'm not saying to you now that I don't enjoy Season 4. I might have said this already in the video. I actually think that Season 4, overall, in terms of features, is probably the best game that they've ever released. But there are so many problems that it's actually less enjoyable than any of the games they've ever released. Maybe apart from Season 1, because Season 1 was a really, really big grind, and yeah. But seriously, sitting down now and looking at everything that's in front of us, all the problems, there's some things that need to change, and just, yeah. Let's start with the Fusion Chamber. So we're going to talk about the Holiday Fusions. Now, this has come out, a brand new update, and honestly, I have to say, the brand new Fusion Chamber looks awesome. It's really, really nicely designed. They've massively overridden all of the problems before, like you had to scroll through God knows how many Fusion Chambers. You've now got them all on one page, or a page and a scroll, and it looks really, really nice. The actual idea of the Holiday Fusions was great. You collect stuff off of the board, and you put it into a Fusion Chamber, and then in a very, very short period of time, you get yourself something really cool. But that was in theory. It was long requested and overdue that Winter Cards Christmas came back. In my first video I made about it, I said that this is something that should have been every single year. They only brought it in Season 1. Season 2 they ignored Christmas. Season 3 they stuck a bit of music in it and did some sales for the throwbacks, and that was it. You know, these are massively overdue. It was a new look for Fusion Chamber. They did an increased enhancement limit, and there was a lot of excitement. People were really, really pumped for this. But in my opinion, that is where my personal image of SuperCard started to sour a little bit. And yes, I love the game. I enjoy it. I've said this already. But I think looking over at the Fusion Chamber now, this could have been a very, very bad mistake. And no one is exempt from making mistakes, but when people make mistakes, it is worth pointing them out, and that's what we're going to do. So, based on what I have seen, excitement for the Fusion Chamber kind of died like 5 days into it, and the reason why is that the only way to obtain those golden enhancements which you put into the fusions for the cards themselves, which I thought was a little bit cheap, was by purchasing packs. You could pull these cards off of the board, these initial normal enhancements, but the rarity of pulling them off the board was extreme. I mean, if you played the game 24/7, you might have had a sliver of a chance of getting yourself a Beast to Titan card. But honestly, it was so small. I mean, literally, it took me a week to pull an ultra rare gingerbread off the board. Someone calculated a crazy amount that you would need of the initial ingredients, as they call them, to put into the Fusion Chamber to be able to have even a chance of being someone who was a free player and doing this Fusion Chamber and getting something from it. Now, in previous years, well, at least the last 2 years, they've had the throwback packs. And actually, in fairness, the throwback packs, I've always said from the get-go that these cards should be pullable from the board. Even if there is a delay and maybe they get like a 2-week or a month exclusive period, they should always be pullable from the board. The enhancements were never guaranteed. And in reality, every single enhancement should be guaranteed off the board. And I mean every enhancement from Uncommon all the way up to WrestleMania should have been guaranteed. Whether they were golden, whether they were normal, whether they were platinum, whether they were stick sideways and shoved up someone's candy ass, I don't care. Whatever they were, they should have been pullable from the board, because that would have made the whole experience so much more enjoyable. The whole thing would have been so much more enjoyable. In fact, even in the packs, the pack drop rates were absolutely horrendous. They were great to start off with, and then about 5 days, 7 days into it, the WrestleMania gingerbreads were almost... You used to be able to get 4 to 5 of those WrestleMania gingerbreads in a pack, if you really went hard, and then it almost seemed... I mean, I'm not accusing here, but it almost seemed like they purposefully dumbed down the pull rates to get more people to open packs. Me more than anyone understands that SuperCard is a business. They're going to want to make money, but this just came across a bit too much. The cost to get yourself one of these, the top cards, gold holiday pack, was about 7,000 to 10,000 credits. That's like $60 to $80. Something along that lines. And initially, I was calculating it, and it was about 4,000 to 5,000. And the drop rates came down, like massively down. And you're looking at 7 to 8. There's sometimes I was looking at 12,000, 13,000. And being someone who was able to do this, I genuinely felt sometimes like they were taking the piss. And I mean that in the nicest way. I don't want to come across as being like... In fairness, I did really well out of it, but you just don't want to know how much that cost. And even when you do that, you only got a chance at that Beast to Titan pack. A chance. No guarantees. You got a chance. No Monster to Titan, it was Beast to Titan, the top 3 tiers. That aside, one of the biggest issues was the enhancement limit was 75. I mean, they were throwing out 6 of these enhancements every single pack. And honestly, I kind of sat back and I thought to myself about halfway through this. This is the kind of diagram I drew out, which is that you buy the enhancements, and most people who are going to buy these enhancements are going to use more than just the standard 15,000 worth of credits, let's be honest. Most people are going to do that. The person buys those enhancements, the golden ingredients pack, or the normal ingredients packs, and then when they're done in the Fusion Chamber, they realize that they've got too many of these epic and legendary ones. So they start discarding them and training other cards up. That's what I ended up doing. then they can't use the lower enhancements for the other images. So like the ultimates, elites, hardens. I mean, you guys know if you've watched my videos or you've been playing SuperCard, that these tiered cards were all based around which enhancements you had at the time. So you buy more enhancements to get yourself more chances, and then you end up with more enhancements that you can't use and you can't play, and then you can't delete the other the enhancements you've got. So you have to use those enhancements or get rid of them, which some of them, for me, for example, and what really ticks me off is that I had spent some credits on the Thanksgiving packs. And in those Thanksgiving packs, I got these really over-the-top enhancements, and then suddenly I was basically forced to use those. I suppose that poses the biggest question: why is there even an enhancement limit in the first place? They're the same images, multiplied over and over and over. There's no loading images, or there's no interchangeable images for the enhancements. In fact, why do we even have a card limit? I don't get it. Once you've got those enhancements, you then have the rinse and repeat, because you're not going to get rid of the WrestleManias and whatnot, and you probably want to get all of the images, so you're just going to keep going, and it's rinse and repeat, and then you got yourself in a little cycle of just constantly spending money. I've spoken to a few people about this, and that is exactly what happened with them. The drop rate for the cards as well for spending that many credits was incredibly poor. In fact, I can give examples of many different YouTubers and many other streamers who actually use this, getting themselves beast card after beast card, the lowest possible reward, time after time after time after time. Not even getting monster cards. In fact, I record for mine off cam. I did something like 10 back-to-back and 10 beast cards in a row. That pull rate is shocking. If we're going for the absolute maximum, that is 100,000 credits plus to speed them all up. That's going to be like 1,000 credits each. If we say that the maximum you're looking at is 110,000 credits for a beast card. Honestly, you got to get a pro beast card. I would have just rather spent 100k on monster packs and potentially got myself a Titan. And if the drop rate was going to be this poor, honestly, the golden enhancements should be pullable from the board. But I said this already. They should have been pullable from the board from the start. And honestly, I think some of these event cards, some of these Christmas cards, should have been pullable from the board. Just like the pumpkin packs were back in Season 3 for SummerSlam 17 tier. My biggest problem with this, though, is that there's two different fusion chambers that do two different things. One massively played into the benefit, where back in Season 1 the fusion chamber was a massive pay to win tool. It was, if you had like $1,000 you could just smash into SuperCard. And then in Season 2 it kind of changed more to for the free player. The free player can get themselves a couple of Money in the Bank level cards, and they're pretty decent, and they'll help you out in King of the Rings because you won't be able to get event cards anymore, and they'll help your deck out. And I was totally fine with that. I personally use it purely for the images and to get myself a pro because I think the cards look really nice. This fusion chamber was all about pay to win. Even now, when there's an 8,000 credit, now I'm just going to check it now, 8,000 credit pack, it was all about pay to win. Now, you guys may or may not be aware right now, but there's been a massive article, conversation coming up about the, I'm not necessarily saying the legalities of it, but whether companies should be more upfront with microtransactions and the drop rates that are going on. Battlefront 2 kind of started this off because it was so ludicrously crazy to get yourself one of the best items in the game, to spend your way there where you couldn't get it as a free player. It actually surprised the hell out of me that SuperCard went down this direction and Cat Daddy went down this direction. And now they've released this pack that's 8,000 credits. And again, you know, the drop rate's better than the male monster pack. So you're actually paying 3,000 extra credits to get next to nothing back. But, you know, I've bought a few myself. I got a couple of extra packs and, you know, I got myself a couple of extra pros. So if I'm not a fan of that stuff, am I part of the problem? Maybe. But it doesn't mean we can't have a discussion about whether this is good for the game or not. Now, in my opinion, the Halloween-style cards, whilst I wasn't really happy with the pack that they came out with at the end, because it was kind of like, hey, you didn't get all the good stuff at this point, well, here, you just blow a load on the game and you'll get everything you missed anyway, which I'm not a fan of that, because it kind of screws over the people who've already put the money in and stuff. And with that microtransaction discussion, you may or may not be aware, and this is actually covered by another SuperCard YouTuber by the name of Desert Eagle. He spoke about App Store back in December. Apple have now come out and said in their terms and conditions that any app that goes up onto the App Store, if it has crates, microtransactions, packs, if it has a random chance at something, so for example a monster pack or a holiday special pack, they have to now declare the drop rate. So as of a certain point, I'm guessing every game will have to declare the drop rates percentage or what the likelihood of them getting those cards are. It probably isn't pretty viewing. Based on what's happened, based on the feedback on these fusions, it's probably not pretty viewing. Now, I've linked the article and I've also linked Desert Eagle's video. Now on to the real nutcrackers. And I mean nutcrackers because there are some of these points that I completely disagree with. I'm not being anti-2K or anti-Cat Daddy, but there's some of this stuff is just like, really? Are you, seriously? First of all, I'm going to go out there and say this right now. Stopping people getting access to certain items, not giving them the chance because they don't have money, no, bad move. That's Season 1 stuff. Sure, it's nice to have exclusive stuff, and you should do exclusive stuff every now and then through in-game rewards or playing or, honestly, achievement-wise, have that. CP Store is a perfect way to create exclusive content, whether that's through spending the CP or earning it in other ways. The Money in the Bank store is for that kind of stuff. This, honestly, yes, exclusive images are cool, but not this way. Not this way. Hiding those images behind a paywall, especially some of the images were really good in this, it just doesn't sit right with me. It doesn't sit right with me. There should always be the opportunity to obtain them for free, which is one of the reasons why I love the idea of putting them in King of the Rings and putting them as pullable cards off the board. That's the way it should be done. Everyone should have an opportunity, and that's one of the reasons why I love the Halloween event so much. I thought it was a fantastic opportunity for people to still be able to pull the cards off the board. The limited edition, sorry, not legendary, the limited edition Ultimate Undertaker, as a concept, apart from the QR code debacle, was amazing. Great idea, poorly executed, but great idea. Pullable off the board, great card, looks amazing, but everyone's got a chance. Everyone, whether you're buying packs, whether you're pulling the cards off the board, whether you're getting a King of the Ring reward, you're still going to have the chance. If you get a ladder reward, you're still going to get the opportunity to get it. And the Halloween one kind of carried that on. The winter one just came across as a massive, oh, it's Christmas, which means everyone's going to get their money and their gift cards. Let's bring out something that people are going to want to spend their money on. I learned back in Season 1 that elitism is not cool. When it came to Season 2, just because you're in a bigger tier than someone else doesn't mean you're a better player than them. Doesn't mean, yeah, sure, you got a better deck, but does it really matter at the end of the day? No. Yes, it's cool to be successful and have like a competitive edge and say, yeah, I'm in the Platinum League for PvP. But this bit really gripes me. This next bit really gripes me. King of the Rings. Yeah, okay, so the new King of the Rings. Massively unsociable, but the biggest issue I have with the King of the Rings is back in Season 3 and Season 2, you had bots, which had the normal, let's say, SummerSlam 17 pros. Cool. Great idea. The King of the Rings this time, not only have they made this unsociable as hell, and I'll go more into King of the Rings in a bit, but they've also made them harder. And when I say harder, I mean harder for those people who haven't spent their life savings. I mean, Sure, we want a challenge, but don't put bots with event cards, with Money in the Bank cards, with fusions in these King of the Rings. I liked it better when you had no chance of winning the female matches because they had the female pros, but you had every chance of winning the male matches because the cards weren't event cards. Honestly, I don't have problems with beating those bots, but I have to feel for the people who I end up in King of the Rings with time after time after time getting beaten by bots left, right and center. It's just no. And what made it worse is that these Titan Holiday cards were in these King of the Rings. People in Monster King of the Rings facing these Monster Holiday pros. You know, there's people who aren't even being able... Yes, now you don't have to wait crazy amounts of time to jump into another King of the Ring. But then the King of the Rings are too long anyway. I mean, sorry, who wants to start a King of the Ring at 7 o'clock in the morning and then have to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning the next morning to make sure they've energized, and because they want to sleep, they've got to stick on a manager that costs 250 credits. It's just a bit like, how do you expect anyone to progress? How do you expect people to enjoy that? There's not even a way of holding and storing up the energy so you can use those as an assistant manager. That's an idea for someone. Have the ability to save up energy so you can use those as an assistant manager instead of having to pay money to use an assistant manager. You can make money off of ads from that. I don't know. It just seems Season 4's taken a big, massive step forward. But then gone back to like the hey, give us your money back from Season 1, Season 2. And yeah. Doesn't sit well with me. But it's unfair now, and it's almost punishing people for not spending money. First game, right? How are you supposed to beat this? You're not going to beat that with this deck. Why is he being matched up with that? That just... Wow, just... What? So to sum it up, with the King of the Ring stuff and the Fusion Chamber stuff, I'm trying to make this not rant, I'm trying to offer critique here. Fusion Chamber, whatever it is, needs to be something that benefits free-to-play players and pay-to-win players. Now, I appreciate that is a really fine balance, but don't release something that's going to be beneficial to one audience. It just isolates someone, and especially when it includes money. It makes people think, you know what, screw this game, I'm just going to play something else. That's one of the reasons I didn't buy Battlefront 2. It's because I don't want to have to do for everything. I mean, I know it's changed now, but I don't want to have to spend money just to get the stuff I want to get. You know, I don't want it just to be like, hey, this is awesome. This is like on a pedestal. That kind of stuff that's just not cool. King of the Rings, the whole thing needs to be completely redesigned. I'm sorry, the whole idea that you have to wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to recharge your King of the Rings and then set your alarms every hour, that's just, to quote Xavier Woods and The New Day, that's booty as hell. It's booty as hell. PvP, broken as hell. I personally don't have the problem, but I know several streamers and several other players who are in my own personal team who aren't even in the league. They can't progress. They can't get up to the top tiers and get themselves better rewards. And don't get me started on the rewards for the PvP. Teams. If you pro a card, let's go to our teams. We've got a guy on our team. Where is he? X-Park, sorry. X-Park on our team had 2 Kofi Kingston, Monster Kofi Kingstons. He pro'd it and then couldn't play. In fact, we couldn't play the rest of Ring Domination and Road to Glory. And I know that Biggie Dude has personally had this problem as well. Just to drop a name in there. He's actually not been able to obtain the Titan card in TRTG because a person was trading his card and combined them whilst they were in the same team slot. And talking of teams, I can't say much, but there's a really big problem with teams, and they've still not addressed it despite me sending it on to several people, and that could be an absolute disaster for the game. I can't really talk about it too much, and I'm not in the mind of releasing any kind of glitches, because that stuff's just, yeah, that's more booty than the rewards you get for PvP and King of the Rings. But PvP, let's go to the rewards. The card backs are awesome, but the initial rewards that looked awesome in Season 4, when we were in the preview stage, where we had the Money in the Bank cards, that was a great idea. And yes, I appreciate we have to have the Monster and Beast cards and the Titan card eventually. That's cool. But what the hell is this? I mean, people are going ham and going like 40,000 points in PvP to get themselves the top spaces, to get themselves these packs, and get themselves the rewards. And they're getting 5 WrestleMania cards when they're in Titan++. I mean, what the hell benefit was that for? Sure, they get CP for like future rewards and stuff, but you know, what's the benefit? What are you going to do by giving people? I mean, they should at least be SummerSlam 17 or Beast rewards, even if they reduce the rewards but make them better. That's better than, you know, having one pack that's awesome. Is better than having 3 packs that are complete trash. Who the hell wants a WrestleMania 33 card when you're in the top tiers? And the thing is the rewards are based on your deck, so the guys who are in the lower tiers are getting even worse if we're going by luck of the draw. And some people do get some good stuff. Some people do get some like pro females and stuff. But, and I'm not saying they should throw a pro female out all the time, but this game mode has the potential to be like Ultimate Team in FIFA, where if you place really, really high up in the leaderboards, you get some really cool stuff. You can get some cards that are one of a kind, or even cards that are, you know, will really help you out. Yet, every single week, the PvP rewards are coming in, and they're absolute trash. I'm seeing people complaining they're getting 50,000, 60,000 points and getting all WrestleMania 33 and, you know, 4,000 or 5,000 credits, you know. Cool. But what's that going to get you? You know, you could even offer a monster pack to those who go for like 50k and plus. So, to sum things up, they've released this game. It's great. I love it. I don't have anything against the game, but mainly because I don't have any problems. Oh, by the way, and there's still guys in King of the Ring who still can't claim their rewards. That, you know, they've updated, they've fixed some big issues. But there's still huge issues, and honestly, the way the game comes across at the moment is, if you want to benefit from any of the exclusive stuff, other than the event cards, you better open your wallet, because you ain't getting anywhere in King of the Rings unless you've got a sick deck that you've basically bought. You aren't getting anywhere in PvP, possibly at all, even if you got the best deck in the world, because you're probably not going to be put into a league that means you're not going to be able to get anywhere and get decent rewards. But hey, Wild Mode works. Ring Domination works, Road to Glory works, and the difficulty of that is still quite high, which is actually quite nice. Money in the Bank works. The cards are decent. The pack rate for the normal packs is okay. But this, and almost certainly this needs serious consideration and thought, because right now, I'm talking about the state of SuperCard right now, and right now I don't think that the game has been in a more controversial place since Season 2. At least Season 2 worked everywhere. This has game modes that don't even work, and people are still having problems. And it's dry. And honestly, looking at what I've been seeing on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, in my streams, in my comment section, people are being driven away. I felt it needed to be said. So, again, I'm just going to put it out there. I am not hating on Cat Daddy. I'm not hating on SuperCard. I'm not hating on anyone at all. Or 2K. I just want to put that out there. I'm just being a guy who's got concerns and is worried that it's going in a bad direction. When it comes down to the serious things, people should know from my past I am not afraid to call people out on their shit. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you agree with me, like the video. If you don't agree with me, dislike the video. I don't care at this point. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more SuperCard content. You know, my stuff works, thankfully, and I'm in a very good position. Although I guarantee you I'll log on to the game next time and I'll be in like no league and everything. They'll be like, oh, you don't like this? Then you can experience what everyone else is experiencing. Fact of the matter is that this stuff needs to be fixed. This stuff needs to be changed, and it needs to be fairer, not only to the pay-to-win guys, the guys in between, like the sometimes I'll pay, sometimes I won't, and to the free players, but especially to the free players, because they are getting screwed every direction. I mean, at the moment, it's tough being a free player in this game, and if you know some people who are willing to slip into their pants and get themselves their wallet out and start spending on the game, it's tough for them at the moment, and something needs to change. So guys and gals, thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was good. I hope it wasn't a rant too much. I knew this video was going to be quite long, and I've cut out a lot of stuff from it because it was too, you know, sometimes I thought it was too ranty. But I hope you guys have an awesome time, and I hope this changes soon, or this inspires change soon. And I'm going to sign off. So thanks for watching. Stay awesome, and remember, comment section with your thoughts and your discussion. Let's make this a community thing. Latest.